Καλημέρα και από μένα. Ονομάζομαι Μαριάννα Σιγάλα και είναι τιμή μου που βρίσκομαι εδώ. Και γι' αυτό το λόγο θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω τους διοργανωτές και κυρίως το ΣΕΤΕ. Είμαι καθηγήτρια στο Πανεπιστήμιο Αιγαίου, με βάση στοιχείο και καταγωγή από Σαντορίνη. Έφαγα ήδη 2 λεπτά από το χρόνο μου. I'm going to speak in English because I think I can do it quicker, so I can satisfy the moderator here. But I'm going to use many Greek words, so I hope I can satisfy all the audience here. So what do I aim to do here? I'm going to give a specific focus on how technologies are changing our tourist markets and basically how they are actually transforming not only the markets but also the way and the business models of the intermediaries that hotels and tourism destinations can use to promote their products. But before I do this, to give you a whole perspective, let's say, in terms of how the tourist markets are being transformed, I think it's very critical to, first of all, clarify our way of thinking or how some companies are changing the way that we are actually thinking of targeting customers and satisfying them. I would say that for many, many years, we were operating in an environment whereby the paradigm that we had in our mind, it was that the companies were creating value, the intermediaries were using this value and they were trying to distribute it to the markets, and then the consumers were taking the product, consuming it, destroying it, and in some way depreciating the value of it. This is very scary. I don't want to think that we are actually creating experiences like wine experiences, gastronomy experiences, religious experiences. We are selling them through the intermediaries, and then tourists come to Greece and they destroy our churches and they destroy our vineyards and they actually depreciate our product. No, this is really, really a big fault. This paradigm also leads us to a very false assumption. It leads us to the assumption to think that the markets are there, they exist, they're fixed, and the only thing that we have to do is to go out to find where they are, where they live, how many they are, and try to find the intermediaries to use them to sell our products. This is very myopic, and it is very, very reactive. Why should Greece be creating wine tourism experiences or gastronomy tourism experiences? Is there a market for that? And why somebody should come to Greece for wine tourism and not go to Italy? Have we persuaded him that wine tourism, it is real, a good meaning for him? There is a good symbolism out of it? So what's the way that we should be thinking about? We should be adopting what I call a service dominant logic, whereby what we do as companies is to create simply value propositions, suggest to customers how they can use our product and goods to create value, and then collaboratively with us or with other customers, try to do that. This is what BMW does, isn't it? They don't sell cars. We don't buy cars and destroy them. We actually buy the cars, we use them, and while we're using them, we are creating meanings, symbols, and even if the car is old, we can still sell it in a very high price because it has a meaning to consumers. The same is done by Illy. Illy doesn't sell coffee. They sell symbols and meanings to people why they should be consuming coffee, what kind of coffee, when, with whom, and that's why they have universities to train not only the consumers but also the cafeterias and the baristas, how to create coffee, how to grain it, what type of coffee to sell, through whom and when. So the market, from this kind of perception, it's not pre-existing. We create markets. We create the way that consumers are going to use our products and make value out of them, and markets are continuously evolving. And we have to create them. This is a very much proactive approach in terms of how we are going to become competitive or to differentiate ourselves in the market. So let's see in some way a figure that reflects in some way how the ecosystem in our tourism industry creates tourism experiences. I have here consumers in the center. Consumers, they go online, they share their experiences, what they feel, how they use destinations, how they use the resources of different places. They exchange their meanings, and through the photographs and the comments and the reviews they write online, they inspire others what to do, where to travel, when to travel. They create fashions, lifestyles. And here it is TripAdvisor, a very clever company that provides the platform to people to do this. And because of doing that, they have become very powerful. Tourism companies have cooperated with TripAdvisor because this actually gives them the possibility to sense the market, to understand what people want, what competitors are doing, and what they can do better. TripAdvisor has also to cooperate, and they do cooperate with Facebook, because when people go to TripAdvisor, they don't want to read everything. They just want to log in with their Facebook account and read only what their friends in Facebook write about, people that they trust, and people they know that they are real people, and they know what they write is true. And in this distribution chain, we have other players. Players in the intermediary sector that I will call them the social web advertising companies, that they will cooperate with all the other players to give them details about who likes what age of people they have clicked like where, what they prefer to do in what destinations, so you know what Facebook ad to create, to whom to target it, at what price to sell it. But people, as we heard before, they use all these technologies in different devices, mobile, while they're on the move. So here we have another intermediary, like Foursquare, that they plug into the service ecosystem here, and they give the information to the whole players where people are, what they like to do. People, they check in online, and when they check in online, other companies that they see who has checked in, they will send them targeted, localized information that their company exists in the locality, and they will try to target them. So creating markets, it's a continuous work in progress. What you have to do as a firm is to create an ecosystem that it can actually scale up and down by plugging in and out different players, different collaborators, to try to sense the market, to try to direct it and guide it to different type of experiences that people would like to have. And why is it continuous? Think about the previous example that I gave. Somebody might think, okay, consumers decided where to go, where to stay, and how much to pay, but now they have to pay. So a tourism firm might decide to cooperate with this kind of intermediary to allow people not to pay by cash, but to use their miles that they have through airlines or points they have from hotel chains to pay for this kind of product. And you can also collaborate with another intermediary to allow people to pay on the spot by using their mobile phone instead of using credit cards or instead of using cash. And what about collaborating with another player like Facebook? You see here El Baltic, they collaborate with Facebook, so people, when they go to check in, they will select a seat based on with whom they want to sit next to it, and they will see their profile on Facebook, and depending on what type of experience they want, an easy trip, a relaxed trip, a romantic trip with a nice lady so they can probably get married afterwards, they will pick up the seat and the maid that they would like to fly with. So when you try to sell and distribute your services, you have to think it from a plug-and-play approach. You will have to identify which are the players you want to collaborate with, what resources you can exchange, so you can enable people to co-create the type of experience they want to have. What does this mean? It means that we have to stop thinking that we have to distribute value. Value does not exist, does not pre-exist. We don't pre-produce it and we try to send it to consumers. We have to rethink how we collaborate with other players to co-create value. The distribution chain is not linear. It's a service ecosystem, a network of players that they collaborate in different ways. And we don't have to think about business to business or business to customers models. Everybody is an actor, that it can be a distributor, it can be a creator of value, he can be a marketeer. So the correct approach, it will be an actor to actor network. How can we do this? We have to stop thinking about trying to sense the market. We have to try to script markets. We have to try to create and form markets. In other words, we have to drive markets. And when I say drive markets, what do I mean? We have to try to persuade consumers to try different products in different instances, how they're going to use it, when, and from whom. And we also have to change the way that the market is actually structured, how different intermediaries collaborate with each other. So let's see some examples of companies that they are actually doing that, and they are leaders in my way. They are leaders because what they do create is what I call market plasticity. They form markets like using a plastic form. They change what is being exchanged, by whom, the actors, the structures, the institutions that they are behind, or the market practices. So look at this type of intermediaries. 30K, it's an intermediary that it will help consumers to decide with whom airline to fly, based which airline is going to give them the majority of the miles. That's a different way of thinking. Big data, we heard something before. So how companies are using that? There is an intermediary called the Flightcaster. They use data on the internet about weather forecasts, delays in different airports, previous reviews of efficiencies in airports, and they forecast you even up 2 hours before your flight, whether your flight is going to be delayed. They will send you an alert on your mobile with alternative suggestions with other different itineraries and flights, how you can reach your destination sooner. A different intermediary creating markets on the last minute. There are companies like GNIP or DataShift. They will tell you who is now in London reporting that he is 20 to 25 years old, he is based somewhere near Trafalgar Square, and he tweets that he is thirsty. So if you're a pub nearby this location, you can send a Twitter alert that you have happy hours, for example. That's a reactive approach. Heat map, you can actually select where to stay, not only based on price or quality, but also based on the ecstasy score. What is the ecstasy score? They do content analysis based on reviews people write on TripAdvisor, what type of experience they have in different locations. And you see here the ecstasy in different color. Red, in terms of romantic experience, green, peaceful, silence. So you select a hotel based on what other people have previously experienced and what you want to do. Accor does a lot of big data analysis. They cooperate with Amadeus to get data from the cloud. They know on real time what is the conversion rate in different websites, on their own websites, but also conversion rates of competitors. What is the weather forecast, whether planes or trains are delayed, and they will target with customized prices and hotel offers depending on your context. That's really reactive or real time. Intermediaries influencing the ways we consume services. I gave before the example of Air Baltic. There is another company here called Facebelt. They want to collaborate with you because they can allow people to check in your companies based on who has reported that is coming to your company, and they can select with whom to share this kind of experience. There is a software called Seat ID, ideal for airlines to allow people to check in and select seats based on profile people share on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Intermediaries changing the market structure, how the different players are connected with each other. You probably might have heard of Global Hotel Exchange. It's not actually the hoteliers paying this intermediary to sell their hotels. The consumer pays a fee to subscribe to the website to have access to special prices and treatments. Reversed approach. Magnuson Hotel. It's the biggest independent hotel chain. They will offer you access to a huge distribution network, like what hotel chains do, but in a much lower fee. You see here the comparison data about how much you pay with them, with other hotel chains like Intercontinental or Choice Hotels. And apart from the distribution chain, they will also offer you access to a loyalty club, but a different type of loyalty club. Not a club whereby people will accumulate points and then they will have to exchange them with hotel stays. A loyalty club whereby people will have access to preferential prices again and customized, personalized services, and there is no exchange of points or blackout dates. Intermediaries changing who is exchanging projects and services and goods. Halls.com. You go online, you buy hotel room nights, and then you decide whether you're going to stay in the hotel or you're going to sell this hotel room nights to somebody else, either if you're an individual or if you're a wholesaler. So as an hotelier, you totally lose control of where your hotel room nights are being sold. You can do this proactively to make money, or you can do it to make business and profits. We are also experiencing the sharing economy, which is a really big trend here. The size of it is growing very fast. As you see here, from 9 billion, we're going to go to 230 billion pounds in 2025. 1/4 of the people are sharing products, and 50% of the products they share, they are in the accommodation sector and the car rental sharing and car rental sector. And it's not only that. People also wish to share their gardens. That was the website that it was #1 booking tool for people they wanted to see the Olympic Games in London. Nobody could afford the high expensive hotel rates in London. They would have preferred to stay in a garden, put their tent, and just be next to the stadium. Have you ever considered, if you were a budget hotel, that these guys are your competitors? Or the consumers with their gardens are your competitors? They are. Tripboard. Anyone can become a guide to escort people in destinations, if they're locals, to give them a personalized trip. I'm sure you know Airbnb, and that's not the only one. If you're a restaurant, you should be threatened by cookering, because people can invite people to their home to have a homemade meal for €2 or €3. So how should you be reacting to that? There are leaders, as I said, in the market. Easy Car is not just watching. They have created Easy Car Club. Anyone who owns a car and they want to make money out of it, they can put it there for sale. They determine when their car is free, how much money they want to do, and people go online and they find from whom to rent a car, how to change and exchange the keys, and how to do the trade. Pod hotels. People like staying at houses because they want authentic experiences, because they want to meet locals. So what about creating hotels, allowing people to do this? This is a new concept of an hotel chain. People decide in which pod hotel worldwide to go based on with whom they network and who they make friends in the social network of the hotel. And they will go to the hotel and they will know with whom they meet, in which restaurant they will go, what excursions to do, and with whom. So we should not simply watch. We should create markets. Changing the way people trade different objects online, how they negotiate, how they pay, and how they manage risk. Are you worried of buying an air ticket and afterwards not being able to fly? Don't be worried anymore, because if you do have an airline ticket, go to reticket.com. You can ask them to refund you and give you back the difference, or they can resell the ticket to somebody else, and you can make profits out of it. New market of used air tickets, not used actually. Refund my ticket. There are millions of them. Backbid.com, a very successful business model. People make hotel reservations. They report their hotel reservation online, and competitors' hotels, they can see the offer, and they can approach the customer and say, we also have a 3-star hotel in the same proximity, and we can offer you that with €10 difference. Cancel it. Actually, we will cancel it, and we will rebook you to our hotel.
Ολοκληρώστε, κυρία Σιγάλα, σας παρακαλώ. Έχουν 5 λεπτά για ερωτήσεις.
2 λεπτά. Don't be worried about pre-booking well in advance, because if you do this in Twingo and the price falls, they will give you back the difference. So these guys, they are changing when people buy products. Have you ever considered that people will not be any last-minute customers anymore because they can manage this risk? Have you changed in some way your revenue management systems to reflect that? United already does it. They offer you to buy tickets with a premium of €10. You pay €10 to keep the price fixed and stable. And 2 days later, you can decide whether to buy the ticket that you have booked in the stable price 2 days before. If you don't want to buy it, the only thing you lose is the €10. Nice value proposition. Option it. You don't buy goods, you buy the option to buy specific goods at specific price. So you buy a ticket to watch a football match, the finals. You don't know whether your popular team is going to be on the final. If it's not going to be on the final, you can sell the option to buy this ticket at a specific price to somebody else, and you can become the distributor, you can be the reseller. And we also have the market that I call it the Groupon anxiety market. Do you know that there are people, they don't sleep until 12
Σιγάλα, σας παρακαλώ να
to
ολοκληρώσουμε.
get the email alert from Groupon? They have a dedicated section for travel sales. And there are many copycats in Greece that they do this. There is even an intermediary that they try to target what they call the couponistas. This is the new market that they only buy products and they travel when they find it on sale. So, message. You can't delete the intermediaries. You can go direct to customers, but what you cannot do, you cannot delete the services that they provide to customers, how to create value. When they buy, why they buy, and how they buy it. We have to think the other way around, and we don't have to travel to Australia to see things upside down. What we have to do is to stop thinking about how to learn the market, because the market is not fixed and it doesn't pre-exist. We have to learn with the market, and we have to educate customers how to do it. So, thank you very much.
Ευχαριστούμε, κύριε Σιγάλα.